Welcome to the astrology news for November 2022. Now for our top stories. A prominent lunar eclipse on November 8 shapes the quality of time for this month. The moon is conjunct Uranus and square Saturn. It is very likely that significant collective developments can be observed during this time. Some issues that have been uncertain so far will now be decided in favor of one side or the other. The eclipse is heralded a few days earlier by a passionate Scorpio Venus forming an opposition to Uranus in Taurus on the 5th and a square to Saturn in Aquarius on the 7th. The difference in these qualities could trigger great creative processes on the one hand but could also lead to disagreements in relationships. Be forgiving of yourself and others during this time. At the full moon on November 8, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus on the moon's south node in Scorpio are opposite the moon and Uranus on the north node in Taurus. Saturn in Aquarius squares this axis, forming a triangle of tension. The concurrent lunar eclipse will be visible in parts of northern Europe, Russia, North America, parts of South America, Asia, and Australia. On a collective level, some events in the days leading up to and following this eclipse can be understood as catalysts for sustainable development. The eclipse occurs at the end of the long phase of struggle between Uranian renewal and Saturnian contraction that has repeatedly led to stalemates and divisions. Now an entirely new dynamic could come into play that clearly shifts the balance of power to one side. The conjunction of the eclipse moon with Uranus in Taurus points to changes in material foundations and values. So, weigh things carefully these days, especially in financial investments. But if your goals are clear, take action. The square of the Sun and Saturn becomes exact on November 11th. The path to follow becomes clearer now, and it is advisable to take the first steps decisively and not wait for a miracle. From the middle of the month the quality of time brightens considerably. The Sun, Venus and Mercury are in the last degrees of Scorpio and form a trine with Jupiter in Pisces one after the other, Venus on the 15th, Mercury on the 16th and the Sun on the 21st. They each enter the sign of Sagittarius one day later. Pluto in Capricorn is in on the midpoint of the trine. Progress can now be made that was unthinkable only a short time ago, and it is advisable to make good use of this window of opportunity, especially for talks in conflict situations. Communication remains challenging as retrograde Mars in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces during the days around November 19th. Exchanges with others now need special attention to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. One day after the Sun enters Sagittarius, there is a new moon. Mercury and Venus are in close conjunction. Jupiter ends its phase of retrograde on November 24th. The confident mood of the last few days is now strengthening, and perhaps some are already dreaming that everything will go back to the way it used to be. But for real healing to occur, the wounds that have been inflicted in recent months must become visible. Between November the 24th and 26th, when the Moon, Mercury and Venus form a trine to Chiron, we have the chance to do so. On November 29th, Mercury is in opposition to Mars, and unexpected information could cause a stir. Saturn, which forms a harmonious trine to Mars the day before and a sextile to Mercury the day after, may act as a mediator here. Thank you for watching Astrology News. Please like, share and subscribe for more astrology news and have a wonderful day.